then I'm gonna click record because I'm gonna send this to Bruns afterwards.
So you do your audio?
Yeah, well, we have a thing called Audacity, but I wasn't gonna have you guys do that this time. That's like a whole thing. You have to like download the app, and then that's about it, really. But,
I'm familiar with Audacity.
Oh, of course, yeah. It makes sense. Anthony, did you download Audacity last time?
No, I didn't.
Let's just do the Zoom thing. All right, I'm going to click record on this computer. Okay. Quick rundown of what we're talking about. We got that trade. I think, are we live on Twitch? We are live on Twitch.
I got the notification on my phone.
Hey. Yes. Okay, we have a 0. I never see 0. That's usually a 1 at least. All right. Anyways, give it time.
Once the people know who the guests are, then they'll be flocking.
That's right. That's right. We got the Grizzlies Pelicans trade. Evan, USA basketball. Final thoughts. Do you guys have any thoughts on the NBA season?
Previous or the upcoming?
Previous.
I mean,
we can skip that.
I'm glad to
just
see
injuries.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, injuries. But it was cool.
We can talk about like what's your summary of the season overall. All right, let's do that. We can touch on that.
All right.
And then I have quick NBA draft thoughts. Do you guys have any NBA draft thoughts?
I have none.
I'm gonna say that, and then we're just gonna breeze past it because I had a stat I wanted to shoot. I meant to look it up.
Come on, stat man.
I'm so bad. I'm just the worst at this.
It's all right, man.
All right, and I think
what are you looking for?
I'm looking up the stat that I was going to use. I just want to make sure it's still right. It's one of those things you got to like double check. All right, 10th. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go pee real quick, and then even though we're live.
All right.
Oh, this guy, man.
See, I was like all prepared. I was like, use the bathroom, get my drink, be ready.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was just us.
I didn't either.
He was just like, oh, you want to be on the pod? I didn't know you were going to be on it until the message he sent. I was like, oh, Kyle's in it. And then I was thinking, like, must be somebody who's not going to be there. It's 3 of us. It's just both of us. So.
I was joking with him. I was like, yeah, me and Anthony always talk about doing our podcast. So like when we started, I was gonna be like, hey, welcome to the first episode. Oh no, just kidding.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
What kind of computer are you on?
I'm on, what is this? This is my work computer. It's a Dell.
Oh, okay. I'm just noticing like the different like video qualities.
Mine's kind of dark. That feeling.
A little bit.
It's kind of, well, I'm dark already, but I mean, it's like, like it looks dark on the screen for some reason.
I couldn't tell until you said something.
I got my AirPods in this time.
I see.
I don't know how better the sound was. I had some Dre beats on last time. I think the sound was kind of off a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just using the good old regular ones you get with your iPhone. All right, you know what? It's a stupid thing, off task, but okay. So the headphones you get with an iPhone, it's got like that slot. Right. On an iMac, they don't have that slot in the back. It's a regular headphone jack. I'm like, are you kidding?
Of course they do. That craziness.
Interesting.
Like, you idiots.
All right. I also have, so I did draft thoughts, bold off-season predictions. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about the off-season so far.
Nothing.
I got some stuff we can
trade.
It's all hypothetical.
Talk about the trade. I can talk through some stuff. I also made a tier list.
Okay.
Of the top players, if we have time and we need to talk about something, we can
touch on that at least.
Because I saw Nick Wright's NBA pyramid. It kind of irritated me, even though now I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? Once you do it yourself, it kind of makes sense a little bit. It's really hard. There's a lot of thinking.
Nick Wright.
Also, he's kind of an idiot.
Like I said, it's Nick Wright.
It's Nick Wright, man.
I know, but he's still a person that like gets millions of followers.
Because he's outspoken. See, that's what you need, someone who's outspoken on your show. You need a Skip Bayless.
God damn. All right. Well, let's see how this goes. All right, Adam. I'm talking to you right now because you're gonna be editing this. You can start the podcast now. Just subtract the last 5 minutes. Appreciate it, buddy. All right. 1, 2, 3. Hello. Welcome everybody to. Oh wait. Hang on. All right. 5, 4, 3. Okay. Welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast, the podcast of the people, your place for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. My name is Chris, the Statsman Gorman. And joining me tonight, we have a guest returning for the second time to the pod. It's Anthony King James. Welcome, Anthony.
So.
All right. Also with us tonight for the first time, finally making his long-awaited debut. Of course, occurring right after the season, but hey, better late than never. It's Kyle Canute. How's it going, man?
Seriously, it's going. It was going well. But no, excited to be here. Excited to finally give my thoughts to someone who cares. Maybe.
Absolutely. And we definitely care here on the Box Out Boys. But as you can see, my other two co-hosts don't care as much as I do, as I decided to still be here and they needed a break. This is my break. And I'm glad to still be here with you two tonight.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Usually Titus gives a rundown of what we're going to talk about. I'm just going to go right into it. Let's talk about this trade, guys. There's been a trade that happened that kind of shook up the landscape. We got Grizzlies and the Pelicans. One thing about this trade that I saw, that if you understood this trade the first time you saw it, you understood Tenet the first time you saw that. This trade was confusing as hell. The Grizzlies. Okay, so let's look at the trade. The Grizzlies get Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe, the 10th pick, 40th pick, and then a 2022 pick that's from the Lakers. Then the Pelicans get Jonas Valanciunas. His name is Jonas, the 17th pick, and the 51st pick. Thoughts, Anthony?
Well, yeah, I was the same way you were. I was kind of confused when I first read it because there was so much going on. But I guess the Pelicans are just trying to free up some cap space. They want to get Bledsoe off the books because he's still owed a few more years, and I think Steven Adams has 2 more years after this. This year, he has 2 more years coming up on his deal, and they get the number 10 pick. So I think they're just trying to get someone in the draft, and then hopefully free agency pick someone up. I don't think they're going to bring Lonzo back, which sounds like he's gone. They keep saying they're not going to match any offers. So I'm assuming they're trying to sign maybe a veteran point guard or a younger player to come in and maybe re-sign Josh Hart. And then on the Grizzlies side, they're just trying to, they got number 10 pick, so you get another young piece on the team. Get another veteran Steven Adams in there. He has 2 more years left, as I said. So I think they're just trying to just build for the future and, just try to go from there.
The funniest thing I think with this trade and what you mentioned, Steven Adams still has 2 years left on this contract, is he signed a 2-year extension for $35 million with them.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, yeah.
It's just wild to see that. So anyways, Kyle, what are your thoughts on this trade?
Just going off that, they signed Steven Adams to those 2 years and then said, no, we don't want you anymore. But I guess the question is who wins this trade, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I look at the Grizzlies as winning this trade. They get an asset in the 10th overall pick. They also get 2 future picks, or a pick that's going to happen this year as well. And Steven Adams is still a solid player. The money isn't great, but the Grizzlies have cap space to take on that kind of contract. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I would agree.
Bledsoe's not coming back, so they're probably gonna keep Bledsoe. They said they were gonna probably either trade him or probably buy him out, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think Bledsoe's gone. I don't know where Bledsoe's going.
He didn't have a good year at all, so I don't know what they're gonna do.
The one thing I do like about this trade, though, is the fact that the Pelicans, David Griffin in the front office, it was kind of a humbling trade because he signed these guys. He brought them in. He's like, Steven Adams, he's going to be great. He's going to go along with Zion. And he got rid of him right away. He gave up an asset, moved down in the draft from the 10th to 17 in order to make that happen. It also freed up, 36 million?
Yeah, I think it's
26 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's enough to sign, I don't know if it's a max guy or someone right below that. And honestly, you're talking about how they don't want to re-sign Lonzo, but this trade makes it look like they would re-sign Lonzo, even though all.
I mean, I would at this point,
did
but
not.
I don't know. Yeah, I would, but I don't think going to.
I mean, they can try. I mean, doing this, it frees up the space. So it's not a bad trade for either team. I mean, they get Valanciunas, who is still doing very well. And then, they free up the cap space and they only move down a few picks in the draft. So it's not a bad trade. And if their goal was to, free up cap space to either re-sign Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball if they wanted, or bring in a free agent, then they're in the right position. I feel like it's going to be who does Zion want? Who can he play with?
Right. Yeah.
Who can? What's your guys' thoughts on Zion? So like the thing with how this trade shakes out is kind of, and if they bring back Lonzo, they kind of have a pseudo Bucks team template, right? Brandon Ingram's Middleton, Zion's Giannis, and then Lonzo's Drew. Obviously, they're all downgrades from the guys on the Bucks. But is that a team that can compete, or is there still something here? Like Steve, like with Jonas, being Brooke Lopez? I don't know. Where are we going at with this Pelicans team?
I mean, if anything, it makes the Pelicans look like the Bucks a few years ago. Like they're following that same template, or trying to at least. And then, I mean, Zion, similar skill set. He's bigger, not as tall, but I mean, I would say Zion has the same ceiling as Giannis.
Yeah, I think Giannis, I mean, in a few years, he's going to be probably, hopefully a top 5 player in the league or close to it. That's why they drafted him number 1. I mean, he's been hyped for a long time. So, I mean, I can see them being the potential Bucks, but it's also, they have a new coach. I think Willie Green's their coach. They got Sam Van Gundy out there pretty fast.
That was the other thing. That was 1 year in. Yeah. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all about how they progress in their careers. If Zion can, I think he needs to lose a few pounds. I mean, because his body as he gets older, I just feel like he's kind of little heavy. I mean, he's young, so right now he can do it, but maybe in a few years from now, his body might not be able to handle that size he has.
He's a defensive lineman playing basketball.
And pretty much, yeah. He's like 6 foot. I mean, I guess they say that he's like 5 or 6, but he's got to be pushing almost 280-ish, maybe. I don't.
He's listed at 6'7", 284 on Basketball Reference. He's probably 6'6", 310.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's like Charles Barkley back in the day.
Yeah, and I know like him going into the NBA, like people are saying if he lost weight, he'd be similar size to LeBron and that type of skill sets. But does he have the same IQ? I'm not sure, but I would say physically and his basketball skill set at the moment, I think he's similar to Giannis.
Yeah,
I remember.
They have the talent there. It's just about, I think, if they get the right coach, hopefully Willie Green comes in there. I mean, he's been assistant for a while, so I think if he comes in and gets these guys the right position they need to go, I think they can potentially push for 8th, 7th, 8th seed next season. I mean,
he was the Phoenix Suns assistant. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And the Pelicans are basically trying to emulate now what the Suns did last year, I guess. So
they had Drew Holiday, and then they kind of, it's crazy to see him go, and he goes with the championship as soon as he leaves. So
I mean, he was the piece the Bucks needed, or one of them.
I mean, they don't win without him with his defense.
No. So Pelicans are in a good place. Grizzlies, I'd say they're in a good.
They're good. They're young.
Too.
I think they're going to be a good place going into next season.
They got the core, man. Like, John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blanking on the 2 guard, Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
And then they got D'Anthony Melton, or is it D'Anthony Melton? Or they had a rookie that just, Desmond Bain, I think his name was. He just killed it in 3-point percentage. So they got a nice young core, and bringing in Steven Adams, I really think can help make that team feel big.
Yeah,
and I like it.
Yeah. Glue guy, veteran presence, brings the young guys together.
Blue guy.
All
right. Any more thoughts on this? These are 2 teams that we'll probably not talk about much more anytime I do this. After this, I hope Pelicans, because there's a lot going on here.
First trade of the off season, right? So
that's right. Yep. All right.
It'll be a matter of, do the Pelicans try to re-sign Lonzo or not?
Yeah, right.
This is we can get more into that when we talk about offseason predictions, but let's move on right now. I know right before we got on here, we talked about the USA basketball team. Neither of us have really been that engaged in the game so far. Just any broad thoughts on this? And they played against France. They played Iran the other day. They looked pretty good against Iran, but of course, I don't know if there's been an NBA player from Iran.
They should have looked good.
Yeah.
What's going on with this team, guys? Like Evan Fournier and Rudy Gobert beat them up in France. What would you guys explain this for? Kevin Durant had 4 fouls. He wasn't playing that much of the game. Is this just they're a bunch of good guys that can't play together, or is it like I don't know? What you guys have any thoughts on this?
Go ahead, Kyle. You go first.
I was gonna say I feel like if you look at just like the whole time frame, like the Olympics being like right after the NBA season and just COVID and everything last year, the Olympics should have been last year. How many of the players actually care? Like I'm sure like some of the younger guys and not your superstars, they're totally invested in it. And not to say that all the superstars don't care, but just seeing that like with Kevin Durant and everything, and just losing to France the way they did, how much of them are they really invested into it? And then good stat line you said with Zach LaVine, against Iran. Again, they should have looked good against Iran. If they didn't look good, then send them home. But 8 assists and no turnovers, obviously that's a good stat line. But like are the players just kind of looking this as like practice, or what's going on? Like I feel like right now it's not a matter of their skill set. Like they should be demolishing teams. And basketball's a game you can pretty much pick up and play with anyone as long as your ego isn't in the way. So is it an ego thing? Do they not care as much? Is it practice? I would say those are your things you're looking at right now.
I would say, well, first of all, I think for France, I mean, they do have 3. That's some NBA players on there, like Gobert and Batum and Fournier. So those guys, they all play together. That team, I think they've been together for a while. I think a lot of these other countries want to win this this is more important than the NBA championship for a lot of these guys. So they're like really eager to win. They're hungry. The NBA guys, they just come off a season. I don't know. I don't think this is the best team they could have come up with. Of course, I mean this is kind of like a second tier. I mean you have Kevin Durant, Dame Lillard, Tatum, guys like that, but it's not the best team they can get. They have, it's not a guarantee they're going to win this year. I mean I think they have like a pretty good chance, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lose just because, it's not the best team they could bring out there because a lot of guys are injured. No Steph Curry, no LeBron, no Kawhi, no James Harden, no Kyrie. A lot of the stars are not playing this year, so it's going to be tough, and they got to learn how to play together. And I don't know, Popovich I know they was complaining about his coaching style. They would kind of run the Spurs like kind of style play. And I don't think that's going to work for an Olympic style play. And I think the style of play is just different. The rules are different. It's 5 fouls. You knock the ball off the rim. It's just the guys that get adjusted for. They're getting hit, but they want to foul, but the referees are not calling it because it's just different style of play. So they just need to get in and play. I mean, I don't understand why they brought in JaVale McGee. I mean,
they were giving shit about Kevin Love coming in.
Yeah.
And now look who's the backup center. JaVale McGee. Our center depth is pretty thin.
Somebody said Christian Woods would have been a good pick for them to bring in. I could see like just a young guy to come in there. I mean, JaVale McGee is like he's okay. He's a defensive guy. He's not going to bring much offense, but I don't think he should have been the guy they would pick to replace Kevin Love.
He's a big body out there. That's what he is. And
pretty much.
I mean, you look at it. You were kind of saying like for all the other countries, them beating the U.S. that's it. And the U.S. they don't really care until we're backed into a corner. Now we can't lose again. We can't get shown up by the other countries. So
that's what this feels like more of. And I think I'll tune into some games as it further gets along. I'd still be shocked if the USA does not win it because they have guys like Durant, LaVine, Lillard, Draymond. He's still something.
Yeah. Draymond's good. I mean, he's just not an offensive play. I was on Twitter earlier and they were showing a play of him driving to the basket, but he had an open layup and he kind of like passed it out to open 3 ball and people
pull Simmons.
Yeah, it was like a horrible play, but then I guess the guy was like he had an open 3, but I mean Draymond's not gonna get you 20 points a game. He's just trying to facilitate and get the ball rolling for the team.
He's a team player. That's why I love him so much.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's I'm gonna skip over let's talk about the NBA draft thoughts. So this is probably another quick segment for us. The NBA draft is tomorrow. Cade Cunningham is the number 1 overall pick, most likely out of Oklahoma State. I saw him in the tournament. Wasn't too impressed by him. Apparently, he's got the dimensions and the vision everyone talks about. Great. Evan Mobley is the consensus 2 or 3 guy. He center out of USC, and then Jalen Green. He was in the G League last year. I don't think he went to college.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. My quick thoughts on this. I love Jalen Suggs. He went to Gonzaga. He was Mr. Minnesota 2 years ago. And he looked like the only competent NBA player in that championship game that was on Gonzaga. Baylor had like 3 or 4 guys. Everyone's talking about Davion Mitchell and a couple of those guys. But I like Jalen Suggs. Any thoughts on this? I know there's not much. The Bulls don't have their pick. Obviously, we got Vucevic. The jury is still out if that was good enough trade or not. One stat I want to make sure, and why I want to make this kind of a short, or you know what, I'll save that for the end. What are you guys' thoughts? Anthony, let's go to you first.
I mean, to be honest, I haven't watched a lot of college ball this past year, so I know Cade Cunningham is the clear-cut no 1 pick for Detroit. And Detroit needs all the help they can get, so hopefully he can come in there and kind of turn that franchise around. They haven't been pretty good since Rip Hamilton and those guys who were there. So I really don't have much on the draft. I mean, I'll watch it. So hopefully all the guys will do well and help the franchises out. But like I said, I haven't really focused too much on the draft this year. I mean, or college basketball.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just, the crazy year we've had and everything else, but like, usually I at least watch the tournament. And just this last year, I didn't watch any college basketball. So, Chris, you're naming off those players.
Right.
I'm like, who? So,
I know, right?
yeah, I mean,
So
I keep reading that. Well, here, let me ask you this, because, good old ESPN says, oh, it's another deep draft. Is it?
You don't really know until like 5 years out, I think.
Oh,
I mean, a lot of guys are giving good grades. I haven't been at these facilities. I'm not that high up in the ranks of, NBA scouting analysis to get that invite. But we'll know in like 2 or 3 years. I don't know. Evan Mobley, Jalen Green blew it up in G League. This is kind of a new thing, to have these guys be developing in the G League before they're drafted. So it'll be interesting to see it play out. I think we're not as interested this year because the Bulls don't have a pick. And honestly,
that's correct.
The one stat I have is the new NBA champs, the Milwaukee Bucks. The highest pick on that team was Brooke Lopez at number 10. Obviously with Giannis being the 15th overall pick right outside the lottery. Was it 14th? I think it was 15th. And then Drew Holiday, he was like 17th overall pick. Bobby Portis, of course, from the Bulls, 22nd overall out of Arkansas.
Love seeing him win.
Yeah.
Best. And what Dante DiVincenzo was 21st. What other names am I forgetting here? That should be high. That's about it.
Probably
Chris Middleton obviously
Chris Middleton, yeah.
He was a second rounder, like 40th overall.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes to show you don't need a top 5 pick.
It's all about the organization, man.
Oh.
Just build a team and get like, a generational superstar with linky ass arms and giant shoulders.
Typically
doesn't
helps.
hurt. Doesn't
Grows
hurt.
4 inches from when he's drafted.
Yeah, right.
Amazing. We have a question in the chat from Baskets Be Awesome. This will lead us into our next segment. Who is going to be injuries first next season? Who's going to get injured first next season? Prediction on that. And then who is going to score the highest points next season?
What do you mean, like in the game or?
Talking about, I think, for the season. So this kind of leads into our topic about bold predictions for the season.
Yeah.
And here we can just talk about, all right, who's going to be the best scorer next year? Just quick names. What do you guys got? Kyle, let's go to you.
Oh, shit. I mean, you got to keep Giannis up there. I'd keep Steph up there. Obviously all injury pending. I'd say those two at the moment. Just 2 quick names I can think of. I'm top 2. Yep. Steph and Giannis.
Let's say Steph and Dame probably. Dame would probably be up there. Steph and Dame, I would go with.
We'll get some predictions going. I think that'll be good. Steph obviously won it this year because he beat out Beal. I really like Luka. I think that guy might go. Like obviously got 48 points in the Olympic game.
I was gonna say, yeah, you heard all the talk about him in the Olympics, and then the coach saying that he's the best player he's ever seen in his life. Yeah, you got to keep Luka up there. That's a top 3.
That's a team to watch out for this offseason. With Porzingis not happy with that team, them paying him a bunch of money to be there. I thought going in, Porzingis was a tough sign, tough sell. That was not a good look. Or Laurie,
I didn't like him on that team.
I didn't like him in general, to be honest. I remember when the Bulls played against the Knicks, Laurie outplayed Kristaps, and I'm like, Laurie Markkinen is a better player than Kristaps, and of course now Laurie's. I don't know what's going on with that.
Aren't the Mavs interested in marketing?
Sure, why not? They're interested in all the pieces, And Tim Hardaway Jr. is an unrestricted free agent. There's a lot of stuff going on in Dallas. It'll be interesting to see how they decide to move stuff around. Hopefully, they'll make some big splashes. They never really draft much besides Luka. Obviously, they don't really they like to do a lot of stuff in free agency. Their names are usually in the headlines at one point or another.
To see who's proven in the NBA.
But speaking of Laurie, is the fact that I brought him up. A bold off-season prediction trade that I don't know if this is bold, but one I really, really would like to see. Let's just talk about Bulls. Let me service this up. I want to talk about Bulls point guards. Okay, they're out of the top 50 players available in this free agency. 13 of them are point guards. I'm going to list them all for you guys right now. Chris Paul, Mike Conley, Lonzo Ball, Kyle Lowry, Dennis Schroeder, Spencer Dinwiddie, Derrick Rose, Devontae Graham, Reggie Jackson, Kendrick Nunn, Alex Caruso, TJ McConnell, and Cam Payne. Cam Payne guy's name in this list after that playoff. Out of those 13 guys, who do you guys like for the Bulls?
I was gonna say the hype right now, at least in Bulls talk, is all Lonzo, maybe Kyle Lowry, and what was the other one? Dennis Schroeder. So those are the 3. Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, no, ooh.
Yeah, I saw that, but I'm not a fan of him on the Bulls team at all.
No, I'm just saying those are the 3 names I keep hearing with the Bulls.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was going to take one, I mean, obviously Kyle Lowry is a great proven point guard. At this point, I'd go with Lonzo Ball. Sure, why not? Let's see what's going to happen. He's kind of refined his game since being on the Pelicans. Schroeder,
I mean, there's a whole money.
Yeah. The contracts that they've been posting, oh yeah, there was a verbal agreement. I was like, you gotta be out of your mind.
There's a lot of fake accounts out there on IG and Twitter.
Yeah, I'm like if you sign up for that money, that's it.
For 4 years.
That's
not
no way.
No,
yeah. I mean, on that list, Chris Paul would be the guy, but there's no way he's coming to Chicago.
No.
Like Kyle, like you said, like Lonzo's, I think would be the best option for us right now because he's young and he's revamped his game. Like you said, he can knock down a 3 ball and he can defend pretty well. So I think he would fit in well back in the backcourt with Levine. D Rose, I always want him to come back to Chicago just because,
bring him back as a backup.
Yeah, I saw something online saying bring in Lonzo and bring D Rose as a 6th man. I would be down for that, but I don't know how much money D Rose is going to want right now. He had a pretty good year this year. I'm pretty sure he wants some type of money because he's getting signed a lot of short-term deals. He's not going to get a max deal. That's true. He wants to get. I'm sure he wants to get some type of pretty good incentive this season because he's been getting 1-year deals the last 2 seasons.
I don't know if he's going to get that hometown discount considering the way he got out of the Bulls. Remember that video? He was shocked that he got traded. It's like, come on. He should not be the way the Bulls treated him. That was a little raw.
New front office, you can throw that in there, but we've also heard D Rose talk about, the contracts that he wants and, setting his family up. So I don't know if realistically that'd work out.
I'm pretty sure D Rose is set up for life.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Endorsements and
everything. Write another book. The guy's popular for life. He's set.
But I do think he deserves a pretty good deal because he's shown that he's not really getting hurt as much as he did, and he's played pretty well last few years. So I think he deserves a nice contract.
I kind of like Derrick Rose in in Miami. Come back with Jimmy Butler. Take that Goran Dragic role. Goran can't play more than 30 games a year, it feels like.
Yeah.
And team back up with Jimmy Butler. Even though they didn't gel so much the first time, I think now that they've grown over their last 5, 6, 7 years, That could be a fun move for them.
Like, man, it's been a while.
Yeah, for sure.
The one thing I want to see this offseason the Bulls to do is do a sign and trade for Lauri's a restricted free agent. And you can't just let this guy go. You can't just he's an asset. He's still an asset. There's a lot of potential with this guy. Everyone's looking at him as the Bulls just did not use him correctly. There's a lot of talent with him. But obviously, Lauri, remember like 2 years ago, Lauri and LaVine were like the two faces of the franchise. We're gonna have, and like the end of the games, it was Lauri and LaVine. It was exciting. And then Lauri got injured, and then stuff happens with the front office, and I don't know. But anyways, the Timberwolves and the Spurs really like Lauri Markkanen right now. And I just want to see a sign and trade Lauri for DeJounte Murray. Give me DeJounte. He's got a very friendly contract for like 2 or 3 more years. He's got everything Lonzo Ball does except the 3 ball. He shoots like 3 a game instead. Lonzo shot 8 threes a game at a 33% clip last year. So, what do you guys know anything about DeJounte Murray? Because he finally had a great season last year. First round pick, 30th overall out of Washington 5 years ago. He had a torn ACL 2 years ago, and he finally had a great year last year. So this guy, he's just skinny, lanky. He's got like a 6'10" wingspan, 6'5". Give me DeJounte all day.
Yeah, I would say like you got to get something for Lauri. I mean, him coming back this year, he had his injury-ridden year, but like even when he was playing, like I didn't like how he's playing anymore. He just was settling for jump shots, like, and then every time he get in the paint, he could prove that he could score in the paint when he got aggressive. But he didn't want to get aggressive. It just you didn't see it in him. You'd even hear Stacey King yelling like, "Yeah, get in there." But no, like you got to get something for him. You can't just let him go. And I would agree with what you're saying, Chris. Sign and trade him, get something for him.
Yeah, I think I like the DeJounte Murray. I didn't think about that, but I think him and Zach LaVine are pretty cool. Like we saw this, so I think I would love for him to come here. Now I don't know if the Spurs would want to bring Markkanen in on that team.
Lauri's like a perfect Spur. He's like very laid back. He can shoot a 3. He doesn't play defense. The Spurs don't mind if you don't play defense. They work around it with their schemes.
Yeah.
I want to see Lauri succeed too.
Well, for sure. But I mean, like you said, the Bulls, you don't want to let him walk, so try to get him in a trade him somewhere. That would be ideal. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see where he goes.
Yeah, that's where I'm at in my head right now. Other than that, it's very early on NBA preseason or NBA offseason. I'm glad we saw a trade. That was interesting. It'll be interesting to see what the Pelicans do. The Bulls need a point guard, and as I listed off, there are plenty of names available. I'd be happy with 6 of the names on this list. Even like, okay, one thought I want to get out here is Chris Paul, Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley. All these guys are 6 feet tall, 36 plus years old.
Yeah,
looking for like $90 million for 3 years. Hell no, I'm not doing that for any of those guys. I don't care what Chris Paul just did in the finals or what. And Kyle Lowry is all of a sudden going to be this $90 million guy for 3 years. This can't. Yeah. Who's paying these guys? I don't understand this. I really hope the Bulls don't do it. I hope they don't get Schroeder either. There's a lot of minds in this, but yeah.
Those guys you listed wouldn't even come because you mentioned their age. They want to win. So the Bulls aren't there yet. So I wouldn't even see any of those guys coming to the Bulls. I'd be shocked if any of them.
I kind of just feel bad for whichever team does do it, especially the Lowry. I don't understand the appeal for Kyle Lowry, man. Like he wanted, like I think it's just because he won a championship. Now all this guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer. It's just so weird. Kyle Lowry's got one of the weirdest careers to me.
Yeah, I'm not big on. I mean, he's a good player, but I'm not big on him. He can play, but people are like kind of hyping him up like he's like this all-time great guy, point guard. Which I mean, I just think he fit well with the Raptors. And they were saying the Lakers were trying to pursue him, and I don't really like that. But
he's a top 10 guard in the league.
Chris Paul. I mean, at this point, I would say Chris Paul if you're like an established team and you're like a player away, because look how he went to the Suns and they went to the finals and they lost, but he's one of those guys that Chris Paul's the guy you bring in and he's just gonna like change the franchise around. Kind of like you're gonna win, you're gonna make the playoffs. So if you're like a team that's right on that edge, that next level, I mean, I would get Chris Paul. I mean, you're probably gonna sign him for more than you're probably gonna hate the contract at the end of the deal because he's probably gonna be super old, but I mean, sometimes
He's
you
gonna be
gotta take a little-
39, pushing 40.
I know, like
Wild.
like the Lakers, I could see him going to because I mean, LeBron's already old. I mean, he can go, he can go there and kind of like.
Fine.
Thing is, if he
go
goes to
there.
LA, is he still getting that money? I thought he would need a discount to go to LA.
Well, yeah, I mean, they won't be able to pay him what he wants, but he's owed like 45 million on this deal if he opts in. Which I mean, it'd be crazy to opt out. I mean, they give him the Suns give him an extension after like the one after he opts in, they give him an extension. But I think he's just going to stay in Phoenix probably at this point.
I was gonna say, if you're Chris Paul, why would you want to leave Phoenix? You made it to the finals, and your first year on the team. So why would you want to leave that? Especially with the money in your contract.
I don't really think he's gonna leave.
No.
I'm curious how much money they're gonna give him.
Though I do think it'd be funny if Chris Paul finally made it to the Lakers. That'd just be a funny story to end his career.
Get that banana boat. Carmelo's gonna end up there, right? This offseason?
I think Melo's going there.
That'd be fun.
I think we all agree Kyle Kuzma's probably out of there.
Kuzma, yeah.
I kept seeing a deal for Buddy Hield for the Sacramento. Did you guys see that?
That's not bad. I kind of
like that. I like that deal for the Lakers. Just so Buddy Hield can shoot the ball. I mean, I think Kyle Kuzma's dealing with the Lakers has been hit, and I don't think he's going to help this team any more than he already has.
The only reason we know who Kyle Kuzma is because he's in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much, yeah.
Nobody knows who Jeremy Grant is because he played in Denver than Detroit, right? Even though he's a light years better player than Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say Kyle Kuzma had a good season, and then once LeBron and then everyone else started going to the Lakers, Kyle Kuzma just fell off a cliff.
He didn't really adjust as they were hoping he would. Well, he did enough. Like they still won, but
when he was before LeBron came, I mean the team was pretty bad. So I guess somebody had to have some stats and play well.
Good stats, bad team guy.
Yeah, I mean I don't want to say he's like a bad player, but he, like you said, he was on a bad team and had stats, so somebody had to do it. But he didn't adjust well when LeBron came in. He kind of just watch him, he kind of looks lost out there a lot of times. And
I almost feel like like with my background as a teacher, like watching Kyle Kuzma, like before LeBron and everyone came in, like he was growing, like with his teammates, like they were all growing together, figuring things out. And then his teammates left, and then all the veterans came in who knows what they're doing already. They know how to play. They have their, everything else. And then Kyle Kuzma's just like, whoa, where'd my family go, guys?
Pretty much,
lost his confidence, lost everything.
That team was insane. D'Angelo Russell, I'm thinking of the top of my head. D'Angelo Russell, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Julius Randle. They have Jordan Clarkson on that team too, coming off the bench, 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
All they're missing was a center. They had Zubac, but they traded him for Mike Muscala in one of the dumbest Magic Johnson GM trades that happened.
I was gonna say, you bring that Lakers team back together, they're a good team.
Oh, for sure.
Who's a better team, that team or the Bulls with Portis? And no, let's not even go there. There's a lot of good Bulls. Ah, man.
Bring back Bobby. No.
Bring back.
Bobby's getting paid. There's going to be a dumb team out there to give him. Maybe the Pelicans will sign Bobby to like a 4-year, $60 million deal or something.
I feel like a team is going to hope that he is like a new KG. He's definitely not, but they're going to hope for that with just his like craziness and his mentality and how he plays.
He's going to get
somebody's going to give him some money. I mean, because I think was he with the Knicks before, and then he came to the Bucks. So he's going to want something. He's a big part of that Bucks team.
He took he could have gotten paid $15 million last year. He took $4 million to play in Milwaukee. And I just heard that he was on Russillo's podcast earlier this week, and that's insane.
He got a championship out of it. So
it paid off.
If I'm him now, like I'm looking, I got a ring. I've contributed to the team now. Time to get paid now.
Get my money.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm him, I'm trying.
You know where he's going to Minnesota. Minnesota wants a power forward. They're going to strike out on John Collins. They're not going to get Laurie because the Bulls don't want Ricky Rubio. This is a total Minnesota move here. Calling it right now.
Front row seat to watch him then.
Can't wait. Oh, dude, yeah. I'll buy season tickets if we get Bobby Portis. I loved Bobby Portis in Chicago. Those eyes.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all. Yeah. Yeah. We were all early on this train.
Yeah.
I did have. So, all right. We also want to talk about final thought. Anybody have any thoughts on the NBA season?
Wasn't it one of those questions about injuries? Do you see anyone getting injured?
Oh, this upcoming season. Sorry, Baskets. We forgot. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about So that was the theme of last season was injuries. What's going on for next season then with injuries?
Who do we think will get injured next season? Pretty much.
What's going to be like a devastating? What's the biggest name that you want to predict that's going to get injured?
I don't want to
like this year. Who's the biggest name this year? Like Kawhi. Kawhi was the biggest name. It was Kyrie and Harden. But really, Kawhi was the biggest name at the end of the day. That was the Clippers would have probably won it. Yeah, they could have probably won it.
Yeah, close.
They went to the finals for sure.
They took 2 out of Phoenix without Kawhi. But anyways,
who's going to injure next? Kyrie's probably going to get hurt next year at some point because Kyrie just always gets hurt.
He'll be out for some reason.
Sad question, Baskets.
I don't want to put any injuries on anybody, but
let's go ahead then and not put one player's name out there, but as a whole, going back to more of a normal season per se, do we see as many injuries or not as many? Just keep it general.
I think we'll decrease injuries from here.
I would hope so.
I would hope.
Well, I think they're going back to 82 games this season, right?
I think the schedule is going to be a little more. Wasn't the schedule kind of nuts this year too, which kind of led to more injuries.
Shortened schedule, it was all back to back and playoffs and everything. It's players were complaining about it. But if you go back to more of a normal schedule, how it was before everything else, I think we should be okay.
Hopefully,
minus just what happens in life.
Yeah, there'll be injuries regardless. So that's just what happens. But hopefully, not as many, especially with a lot of star players getting injured. Especially this past year, it sucks because a lot of guys who will affect the playoffs. So hopefully, a lot of guys can stay healthy this year.
Just so you guys know, we have 5 people in the chat. I think.
Oh, wow.
Sauceboss 3321. I think I know who this is. I don't. It's probably somebody I know. But I think they commented on an earlier thing. Let's not neglect the fact that KD lost Game 7 because he has big ass feet. Yeah, no shit, Sauceboss. They talk about that on every single podcast. We don't need to address that here. We get it.
It's true.
He has big ass feet, size 18 or 22, whatever the hell it was. I don't want to take that away from Giannis. What Giannis did in these playoffs, he did great. That's why I'm wearing my Dirk jersey today. That's representation of what happened all those years ago. Anthony, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, that was 10 years ago.
I know. It came on my Facebook memory the other day. It showed us taking a picture together
one of my all-time favorite. When I die, that'll be in my memorial. It's just this is I remember Anthony and Chris taking that picture and that'll
Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough time in my life.
One of the greatest pictures of all time.
You guys got to cue me in on this whole percentages thing still.
Oh yeah, that's one thing. Debts need to be paid. Let's get to that, Anthony. We made a bet. I'm trying to think. This was at Dan Colin's wedding.
Yeah, it was.
Right?
Yeah,
there's been 3 weddings in 4 weeks.
Think about it.
Yeah. And was this after Phoenix won Game 1? Or was that what I meant to look this up.
So Dan Colin's wedding was the 4th of July weekend, so I don't know what the count was at that point.
Yeah, maybe I think they were up. Maybe I don't know. Anyways, you went Phoenix, and you actually called you were on the Twitch stream a few weeks ago. You said Phoenix in 6.
Yeah.
So did our previous guest Patio, and then of course the OG guys here, Titus, myself, and Joey, all had Bucks in 7. It was Bucks in 6, but it was still fun to see the Bucks. Anyways, the bet was a $20 bet. You want to do money. And I'm like, that's boring. I think you still did the money. I think we still have the money. You owe me $20. Just pay Venmo. Venmo's so easy. I don't understand what's going on here. It's not cash.
I don't remember. I remember we did. I know we did the percentage.
We did also do a percentage. And one thing I want to start getting on this podcast to make this more legitimately fun and just because it sounds funny. And not sounds funny, but everyone needs ads, right? And we'll give you free advertising for your Lux 311 brand. We just asked for a promo code Box Out Boys, and you said Box Out Boys 20, and I won the bet, so it's gotta be Box Out Boys 25. You can make it for as long as you want, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, all off season. I don't care, but yeah, let me know. What are your thoughts?
I can do, yeah, for sure. We do 25 for, I mean, maybe like a month or something like that, and then I can push it to 20. Something like
You got
that.
the tracking on your side. I'm sure you got the analytics set up. You can kind of see if anybody actually typed in the promo code Box Out Boys
Yeah.
25.
We can see whenever somebody buys something, they put a code in and then what code they use. So I'll set up a code for you guys, and then you can give me a shout out, or I could like write up something. You can give me like a little promo. Like
If you want to write something out, great. We can also think of something to say. But
yeah,
your chains are honestly like they're actually really
right,
nice. I got this. I got this guy. I got a rope.
Yeah, man.
It's because when your friend starts a company, you don't want to. You're hoping it's going to be good quality. You're going to say it's good no matter what. But like I was actually like I'm like, oh shit, this is actually legit. Like you got like a thing going here. So I'm really, really excited for you. Really happy to see this, and really happy to try to help out. With my 400 downloads over 6 months.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just trying to get my name out there, keep growing, and I do a Box Out Boys promo code for you guys, and then we'll get y'all set up so we can all your listeners can are using that code.
Sauce Boss, pay the man. Heck, if he doesn't pay you, I'll pay you, even if I don't owe you anything. I hope this is somebody I know. I don't know. Yeah, so that's awesome. We'll talk offline, get that set up for next week. Sauce Boss had a question going back. Who's your surprise team for next year? I like this question. Even though it's still very early.
Surprise team.
Surprise team.
I feel like more than anything, the surprise team is going to come from the East. One of those teams.
I'm nodding my head.
But it's just a matter of who.
The Bulls. Why not?
Why not? Honestly, with Levine, Levine's gonna get that Olympic leap. Vucevic, the Bulls kind of went all in with this franchise, with this team.
If they get a good offseason signing, it damn well could be the Bulls.
If they get a good point guard, I think they can get in the playoffs for sure. At least, maybe bottom half of the seeding. If they get a good point guard, I think they can get in there. So, I mean, they can make a little run if they can, get in there. I mean, why not the Bulls? Everybody else is like making leaps. Like one player can change the whole franchise around.
Like the Bulls should be. But sorry.
I was gonna say take the D Rose comment. Why not me? Why not us? Why not the Bulls? I think another thing to look at with Bulls specifically is Pat Williams, his development, because he showed like signs like he has the athleticism and everything else, but like he always looked a little timid out there. So like just to see how is he going to progress into year 2.
I forgot. I honestly like watching him last season. He was a little underwhelming, and but he showed flashes, and he got to the point though he wasn't really doing much. That I forgot he was the 4th overall pick.
Right,
like that's a high pick, guys. Russell Westbrook was the 4th overall pick, and we should be expecting big things from him, from Patrick Holmes, especially being those stats at Florida State were not pretty. But they liked his physique, they liked his athleticism and his size. So
we took him for his body.
Kawhi 2.0.
Big body. He had that Giannis block before Giannis had it, right? So there's slashes.
Well, let's hope he breaks out.
Ooh, this guy. Oh, hey. Yeah, there's other stuff. Oh, the Sauce Boss says the Kings. Oh, he also said the Bulls. He or she. I don't know who this is. The Kings are an interesting one. Tyrese Halliburton killed it last year out of Iowa State, obviously. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, you mentioned. Marvin Bagley, he's the 2nd overall pick. If that guy can finally come together. Rashawn Holmes is a unrestricted free agent. It'll be interesting to see if they re-sign him. It's not worth talking about right now. Rashawn though, he's a local guy. He's from Maywood, I think. No, Javon Connor's from Maywood.
Really? Wait, is he?
I got a buddy that knows Rashawn Holmes. BMAC. I don't know if you ever listen to this podcast, BMAC, but we'll have it on at some point. Anyways, Sauce Boss loves him some De'Aaron Fox. Baskets with another question. What's the smallest size shoe in the NBA? Who has the smallest size shoe in the NBA?
I'm gonna say it's a 12.
But who? Like what player do you think has the smallest shoe size?
who's the shortest guy? I mean, I don't
Who's
know.
the shortest guy in the league right
Yeah.
now?
The first name that come to my mind was Facundo Campazzo. He's a 5'11" backup point guard for the Denver Nuggets. He was a rookie
Okay.
last year. He's 30 years old. He might have small feet. Although, do Europeans usually have bigger feet? I'm not really sure how this works.
I have no idea.
Not my forte here.
What's up,
De'Aaron
you-
Fox probably has small feet.
No, but I don't know. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is not in the league right now. I would have said maybe him, but he's 5'9".
Baskets with the questions tonight. There's even another one in here I didn't even ask yet. I'm just gonna go for it. Who do you think will be the next Space Jam star? Baskets loves these movie questions, so appreciate another Space Jam reference.
Oh,
you
man.
guys see the new one yet?
No,
I see.
I saw it.
Did you like it?
It was cool. I mean, it was a kids movie. I mean, it was no more cornier than the first one. I mean, it was a kids movie. I mean, you can't really. People were like kind of like talk down on it, but I mean, it was like 30-year-olds saying it was horrible. I'm like, dude, it's a kids movie. You know?
That's why I love the critics on this
Mhm.
movie. It's like it's a 2-hour commercial. It's like, the first one was directed by a commercial director.
Yeah.
It's the only movie he's done is Space Jam. Like
It was a family movie.
The whole
It was
point.
a lot about family. So I mean, for what it was, I mean, it was fine. I have a problem with it.
Yeah.
What was the question again? Oh,
the next Space Jam star. So Jordan,
LeBron.
LeBron.
LeBron, and what Luca? Do we know
I
who it
knew
is
you
yet?
were going to say that. Maybe Zion. I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it's got to be some superstar who is like proven himself to be the number one superstar, or at least a top 3 superstar. So I mean, who's going to be top 3 in 5 years?
5 years. I mean, Luca, right? I mean,
You think in 5 years? It took them 20 years to make to make another one,
Yeah,
but they'll
you
probably
know how
take.
sequels come out now. They just
I mean,
bam,
yeah,
bam, bam.
Spider-Man's been redone like 4 times, right? So
Oh, it's multiverse now, buddy.
Loki was fantastic. I don't know if you guys watched that.
I gotta
haven't
see
seen
that.
that.
Yeah,
I
I'm
haven't
Oh,
behind
it's so
it.
good. I'm really
Yeah.
excited for that. I'm actually
That's
I wasn't really that into Marvel, and that show was just awesome. Really, they
That's
get
a
really
whole
creative
nother
with it.
conversation.
Anyways, so wait, Kyle, who'd you say? So you got Anthony says Zion. I got Luca. Who do you got for Space Jam?
Oh, is it a dick move if I say not Giannis because he doesn't speak fluent English? Like without an
I mean, it
accent?
wasn't until you said that second part. Like it's fine, and they're like, "Oh, the reason's
Yeah.
not great." No, know.
I'll stick with Giannis.
Okay, I like Giannis. I think he's got the personality for it. I think
does.
they
He's
would
a
actually get
humble
good
guy.
reviews, of a movie. He should do something. He shouldn't be like, you know who has had a terrible off the court PR stunt his entire career, and I bring him up way too often, is Kevin Durant. His podcast is kind of lame. Obviously, Twitter, he's the worst. And he had a movie called Thunderstruck that, if Saucebot says who I think he
forgot about that movie.
owns that movie.
I forgot
And
about that movie.
the fact that he did that movie and like gets no flack for it, but LeBron does Space Jam 2 and everyone's like, screw this is so stupid. I don't know, man.
The only reason that LeBron got that flack was because he did an MJ movie. That's the only
Exactly.
reason.
If it was anything else, it would have been fine. But since MJ was his movie, pretty much. Like, oh, you say like MJ, they criticize.
Because LeBron James, he was in a movie before, right? Where he was like kind of
He was
like
in
a
the Amy
role-
I
Schumer movie,
can't remember what it was.
Trainwreck. He was
Trainwreck,
good
yeah.
in that.
He was funny in it. He's pretty good in it to me.
Yeah. So there you go. It wasn't an MJ movie, but now that he's doing an MJ movie, you get all the comparisons and all that shit. So
And the haters
that's the
don't
only
hate,
reason he's
man.
getting shit for it.
Saucebot says Giannis would be comedical, and would probably break the fourth wall so many times in a Space Jam movie.
I could see that. Now Giannis
right.
would be cool though, because
Yeah,
he's a humble guy.
I like
Just a good
Giannis.
character and everything else. Yeah.
Giannis is funny. I like his personality.
This guy's asking more questions. Who do you think will be most improved? Come on, Sauceboss. Most improved. That's the hardest thing to predict is most improved player. Last year, I predicted Dorian Finney-Smith to be the most improved player.
Pat
And,
Williams.
Was it Julius Randle
Patrick-
this past season?
Yeah, it was Julius Randle, which was Christian Wood and Julius Randle were kind of the two, and then so
Pat Williams has a low bar right now. So
all right, Patrick Williams is a good pick.
Pat Williams is good. I have no idea. I don't know.
It'd be fun if it was like Lonzo Ball if he signs with the Bulls, or whatever the Bulls point guard is. It has to be DeJounte or Lonzo Ball. I swear.
Maybe like DeAndre Ayton, because I mean he had a solid season, but I think he kind of played better in the playoffs. So maybe Ayton
he actually had a down year, stats wise, year over year, regular season wise. Obviously in the playoffs, different story. That's a good pick. I like Ayton a lot. Patrick Williams too. I'll just go with Lonzo or DeJounte, whichever Bulls point guard they get.
So there's a good
Kobe White, man.
Player.
I was gonna say Kobe White. Kobe White's hurt. He's rehabbing this whole offseason, man.
Is he gonna be ready for next season? Or?
Yeah, he'll be ready for next season. He just isn't gonna get much play time.
We keep talking about point guards, but I mean, he is our point guard right now. Right?
He's a good. I argue with Joey about this all the time on the pod for those loyal listeners of ours. I like Kobe White, but I know what he is. I get it. He's like an off the bench kind of guy. He's like a Jason Terry type, hopefully. Obviously, Jason Terry won Game 6 of the 2011 NBA Finals. There's a lot of upside there.
A plug in there.
Sauce Boss has Taco Fall for MIP. Nice.
Who is this guy?
I'll say the Bulls' starting point guard, I guess technically is Satoramsky right now, right? And he's got interest with other teams.
Yeah, so. Is he a free agent this year? Upcoming season? Right now, I mean, he's a free agent, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he is.
Wait, I actually don't know who this guy is. This Sauce Boss guy is not who I thought he was. Taco Fall for MIP, man. All right,
Taco.
This has been fun. I had a tier list thing. We don't need to talk about that tonight because that's too much thinking going on there. But that's a good exercise to try to understand who the top players in the league are. Like
top players for like the different like levels of players, pretty much.
Oh, hang on. Sauce Boss. Jason Terry also ate LeBron's nuts when LeBron dunked on him on that play. Yeah, we all get it. We all saw the reference. Was that no? It was DeAndre. What's the meme with Jason Terry? That was from Boys to Men. Do you remember that? Like
that's old.
No, I don't.
Like Jason Terry's phone is like, oh no, Jason, like don't go for it. Oh no, that was for shoot. Now I'm just going off the wall here. That was for Brandon Knight when he got trampled by.
Well Brandon Knight had a ton of memes for him when he got dunked on.
Okay, baskets with the questions tonight. What do you think the best Taco Bell menu item the NBA should advertise?
Jesus Christ.
Baskets, like, calm down, buddy. This is
going in.
Taco Bell item, guys. What do you got?
Just like top item
that the NBA should advertise.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, it's Doritos Locos taco. Like,
I mean,
or does that get enough? Like, actually, as a marketing guy, you want to like see what's not doing well, right? And you want to see like what's a product that we should promote, especially on a scene like the NBA.
The potatoes, man, because Taco Bell was in that weird funk where they got rid of the potatoes, then they brought them back, like the Fiesta potatoes.
Yeah,
and then they're like the nacho fries are just like a seasonal thing, so you don't advertise those because they get advertised when it's in season. Fiesta potatoes, people love it.
Yeah, I don't eat Taco Bell at all. I probably haven't had Taco Bell and I don't know when. I mean, in college I ate it just because that was open late. But if I had to choose one, I mean, the cheesy gordita was pretty solid. So if I had to pick one, I guess it would be that. But or the potatoes always. You can't.
Fiesta potatoes.
They
jacked the price up on them, and that pissed me off.
Isn't the bowl like this big? Isn't it like a small bowl?
Same size.
That's the whole business model, right? Like Doritos Locos tacos used to be $1. Now it's $2.
Dude, all right. So when we were in high school, you remember the Wendy's double stack?
Yeah, of course.
It was $1. Now it's like $2.50.
Yeah.
Outrageous, man.
Everything's going up, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Inflation.
Baskets likes your your potato advertisements. I agree with that. Save cows and eat potatoes.
There we go. So
here's Sauce Boss
Chick-fil-A.
with another question. You think Chick-fil-A should endorse Giannis and get a 50-piece meal for the amount of points he scored in the finals? Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
This
Why
was
wouldn't you? Yeah.
I think so. Why didn't Chick-fil-A do this? So Chick-fil-A is never open on Sundays. They support anti-LGBT,
Yeah.
Their
communities or
Bible book
organizations,
thumping,
whatever.
yep.
And supporting a basketball player like Giannis is probably going to go against what they really ultimately,
It probably wouldn't happen.
what their demographic is, right? Advertising overall.
They don't really have much advertisement at all.
They do the cows thing.
Well, the cow thing, but you don't see many. Do they have any commercials? I don't know if they.
I haven't seen them much lately. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, most places have commercials. I haven't seen a Chick-fil-A commercial in a long time.
Yeah, it's been down for their advertisement because it was always the cows, eat more chicken or
They don't need a commercials at this point. They're pretty. I mean, every time I go to Chick-fil-A, the line is like crazy and.
No, and real talk. If you're into the Chick-fil-A like chicken, have you heard of like the Costco chicken? That's like the exact same.
I've heard about it. I haven't had
It's like I forget what the brand is, but it's you can Google it. But
I'd have been surprised if you didn't mention Costco at some point during this pod. So appreciate it.
There you go, man. Well, it's delicious.
But
We're not even talking about basketball anymore.
I know we're talking about.
Well, it's about
food
Giannis.
now.
Giannis should be getting this
right.
Chick-fil-A endorsement. He gave them like $440,000 in free ad
heard about
revenue. That influence and content shit. I know all about like that. It's expensive stuff, man.
Dude.
And I'm advertising like people with 300K followers. Giannis probably has like 14 mil or whatever.
Just think about it. If he went to McDonald's and did the same thing, McDonald's would have had a thing with him already.
Oh yeah.
So McDonald's is on top of that. On top of that, things like that. So Chick-fil-A is probably like whatever, whatever. But
different business models.
Whatever. Baskets with the cost cow pun. Thank you, Baskets. Sauce Boss with a fun question. Anthony, you might like this. You might have more on this. Do you think Bronny will live up to the hype? Will live up to his father's hype?
Of course not. I mean, it's kind of hard to. I mean, it's his dad's LeBron. I mean,
how old is Bronny now?
I want to say 16 or 17. I want to say. I don't know. I think it's like 16. Or something like
He's
that,
16.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he makes it to the league, I think that's pretty good. If he can make it to the NBA, I mean, there's so much like social media around, so it's like all like you see like every time he does something, it's like all eyes on him. So I mean, he'll never be able to live in his father's shadow or footsteps. I mean, but I'm pretty sure he'd be better than Michael Jordan's kids. I tell you that.
I was gonna say if you're gonna make the MJ comparison, there you go. If his kids are better,
I'll tell you that. Both him and Bryce, his other son. So.
LeBron is like the most unique goal I think I've ever seen an NBA player. He wants to play with his son someday.
Yeah.
And I think Bronny won't live up to the hype. I don't know whatever kind of hype there is, but he could be like an Austin Rivers type, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he'll be like LaMelo. LaMelo's been insane.
I mean, we'll see. Still, like I think he just finished his. I think he's going to his junior year. So I mean, he has like 2 more years at high school, I believe.
Yeah. Sorry, Kyle. What was your point?
I was gonna say like I've just been seeing like there's like all these stories now with like LeBron attending his kids' games and everything and just like being like super vocal and like getting like he was like yelling at the score table and like yelling at a referee but like walking onto the court and doing it. I was gonna say like what's your thought on that? Have you heard about that at all?
I heard about that. I think when he walked on the court, I think it was something because the PA announcer said something about he only got that call because he was LeBron's son, and LeBron didn't. I mean, it was kind of like, these guys are kids, so you don't say nothing like that. But I mean, I guess LeBron's just like he's just using his fame and his power to just like do it. I mean, if that was my dad, I'd be kind of embarrassed. I mean, that's so it's just weird, I guess, But I mean, it's LeBron. He's gonna do whatever the hell he wants. So I mean, but it's like if you go like Kingston was playing ball and you like walk on the court and start yelling and screaming and they'll be like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I don't know.
See,
I wouldn't do that for my kids. But.
No, and I feel like I see two sides of it. Like I see like LeBron's side of like, like, hey, like that's my kid, like, like treat him fairly and everything else, and like just trying to get the point across. But then like I see the other side of like, I don't want to embarrass my kid. Like him doing that, especially just like his name and everything else, and it's gonna get blown up in the headlines, which of course it did. So
yeah, I mean, he didn't do him any favors by naming him LeBron Jr. I mean, he should have just not kept that totally out of the way.
I think he said he regrets doing that.
Yeah, he said that he regrets doing that. So it's like that's why he called him Bronny. I guess it's. I mean, you still know who the hell he is, but I mean, it's you know.
All right, guys, we're over time. We usually try to keep these to 40 or 50 minutes. I'm gonna just close out the pod. We can stick to the Twitch stream just to hang out.
All right.
But I'm just gonna do the outro that Titus always did. I wrote it down. I listened to some previous pods to make sure I got this right. But all right, here we go. Well, that'll just do it for us tonight. Thanks to those who tuned to us live on Twitch. Join us next week for more basketball NBA talk. Follow us on @TheBoxOutBoys1 on Twitter and on Instagram @TheBoxOutBoys. Slide into those DMs. Catch us live on Twitch every Wednesday, 27th Wednesday in a row at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for those international listeners. Email us at theboxoutboys@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, and review wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, box out. All right. Appreciate that. Let's pause. Stop.
There you go.
All right. I just want to make sure I get this file. The recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. Great.
There you go.
You did it. You survived.
It's hard. It's hard to intro the pod to get it rolling, but once it's rolling, it's like, all right, let's just
talk.
I can see that why because first Titus always does it, so you see him doing it. So
Titus makes it so easy. Miss you, buddy. I don't know what you're doing today. You said you're gonna be watching Space Jam. But yeah, man, surprise teams, man. Like I want to talk about this again. We're looking at the Bulls. So we look at the standings from last year: Sixers, Nets, Bucks. That's kind of the top three for next year as well. Yeah. Knicks and Hawks are kind of those teams that who knows. And then we got the Heat and the Celtics, who are kind of in this limbo.
Dude, it's crazy to think that the Heat won it the year before, or got into the finals the year before.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, I feel like the Heat are. I feel like the reason why this year they weren't as good as they usually are because they went deep. They went to the finals, and then the off season was so short. But I think the Heat are I think they're a really good team. I think they add another piece. They could be right back there in the run for the conference finals next year. I like the Heat. I like Jimmy Butler's like hard-nosed guy. They got. I think Tyler Hero is another little question mark because he played like shit this past season. So
he got rap songs named after him. Dude, that dude got the biggest head.
They kind of hyped him up after last year. They hyped him up so big, and then this year he kind of like just stunk. So.
I still like Hero enough. They were going to trade like my other two hosts on this, Titus and Joey, were ragging for not trading him for Kyle Lowry. I would rather have Hero at 23. And for those still on the Twitch stream, feel free to keep talking. We're going to chat for a little while here. I'm getting notifications saying otherwise, but we'll keep talking. Anyways, I still like Hero enough, and I agree with you on Miami's like just another are they another point guard team away? How many teams need point guards here? There's a lot of Colin Sexton kind of. Anyways, there's so much I wanted to. There's so much you can talk about on here. It's weird because like Colin Sexton kind of wants out of Cleveland, or they want to trade him. That dude averaged like 23 points a game last year. Like, I don't know where you put that guy. It sounds like a good stats bad team kind of thing, but the Celtics got Marcus Smart. I don't know.
So they were saying like this upcoming season they're doing a play-in again for next season. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the Bulls were they were like one game out of the play-in. So
2 games.
They were the play-in went down to 10, which is Charlotte, and then the Bulls were like 11. So the Bulls should at least be in the play-in next season. I would assume at least.
Would hope so.
I mean, I thought that this year. I thought when they traded for Vooch, it's like, oh, great, yeah, the Bulls will at least make the play-in tournament, and they couldn't beat the Hornets and PJ Washington's threes and all this other BS that was happening. It was
The Bulls have a lot to work on. But I was gonna say, like, what's your thought on the play-in?
I like it. I think those 7 to 10 seeds. If you don't want to be in the play-in, make the 6. I think making the 6 seed has that much more value, and I think it should. To be honest, like, to not have to play when you're a 7 or 8 seed, it's kind of like you're there, but you're barely there.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed. I mean, watching those games was pretty fun to watch. I mean, so why not keep it around? I mean, makes it more exciting. I mean, it's not like a typical playoff like way to do it, but I mean, I'm not mad at it at all.
It's kind of like the same idea as like the wild card for MLB. You know, you get that just those games, like, you know, one team's going to get in. And I'm like, the only people who didn't like it seemingly were like the NBA players.
Cubs fans? Oh, sorry. You're talking about basketball.
No, NBA players who were in the situation of having to play in the play-in. Like, I know like LeBron was outspoken, like not liking it. But I'm like, other than that, like for fans and everything, it's great. And especially for those lower teams, it's great that they can still get in. And then it, you know, helps those teams who are, you know, going through a whole lot of load management and, you know, just kind of like scraping by just to get in the playoffs. And then, all right, here we go. You know, it gives them more incentive to actually play a little bit more.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Clippers and what you think Kawhi is going to stay with the Clippers this year after the season?
I can't imagine him leaving. It'd be kind of I already have a lower respect for Kawhi because of how he did the OLA thing with getting Paul George and all that. But like, if he left, dude, that would be weird. I'm pretty sure he's gonna stay, but
I think he's gonna stay. But I think is he gonna play next season because he already had the injury. So you know how he is with injuries, you know.
Yeah, right. He doesn't trust any medical doctor, which actually is. I think Rousseau had, I forget who he had on. It's like some ex-NBA player. I think it was like Antonio Daniels or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying how like every medical doctor he talked to was like, hey, like, just so you know, like the team pays me. So if you're close, if it's 50-50, I'm saying you should play. I'm going to go with the teams, you know, what the team wants instead of the player. Right. And like you see with Kevin Durant re-injuring himself and Derrick Rose obviously going down way too many times. I kind of understand why Kawhi is taking it the way he is, but there's no chance that guy's leaving. Kyle, you want to see him leave? Where's he going?
Well, I was going to say, do you guys think that the Clippers is his home now? Because obviously he was in San Antonio for so long. He went to Toronto for a vacation and then came to LA. So is this his new home?
I think so. I mean, he's from in LA area, so yeah. I mean, so he did all that to get there. I don't see him leaving just because he wants to be home. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad if he left. That'd be pretty funny if he leaves the Clippers just because. I mean, whatever. But I don't think he's gonna leave. I think he's gonna stay there. But I'm not sure he's gonna play next season. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits out next season because I know how he did with the Spurs with that injury. He kind of, you know, he kind of protected himself if he felt like he wasn't ready. And they said he says he's not 100%, he's not going to play. So depending on how he rehabs and how he heals, he might not even play next season. You know.
And I mean that's good for him for like sticking up for himself and, you know, going about it his way because, you know, Chris, like what you were just saying, like with the team doctors and everything. I mean, that's exactly what they do. You know, they get paid by the team. And I've heard it like multiple, you know, stories like with, you know, other leagues, NFL, you know, NHL, MLB, just everyone else. Like it's all the same thing. Like those trainers, if you can play, you're going to play. They're going to clear you to play. But, you know, like a regular doctor, you know, you bring up D Rose also as the example, like you should be sitting out. But of course, if you're sitting out, you're not playing for the team. So
yeah,
there's all these different factors going into it. And it's like, you know, not to shit on, you know, athletic trainers, but they're getting paid by an organization who wants to see their players on the court. So I agree where Kawhi's coming from. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
But I would say no. He definitely he stays in LA because if he leaves, it would just be comical at that point.
Goes to
I don't know.
Miami.
Where would he? Yeah, I would say Miami, but I feel like Miami is like wants everybody. Like, every time like a player was available, it's either Lakers or Miami. Like always the teams that come up with like, oh, he's gonna, he's gonna go there. So
I always see articles about Miami and the New York Knicks and trade rumors,
well, the Knicks
the
too,
Knicks.
like, the Knicks have
which
been
is
like
always
that.
a joke.
I was
think it's
hoping
just
for
to
the
get
Knicks during the playoffs,
clicks.
but they didn't have it.
Yeah, I was
Trae Young,
disappointed in
man.
the Knicks. Yeah.
All right, I think the chat's dying down. I think I'm gonna end that. Thank you all for joining the chat tonight. Sauce Boss 3321. Follow her every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Appreciate you all. Peace.